All right, so I'm Dr. Bitencourt, and here we are at ACR in Chicago in 2018. And I'm here with Dr. Mark Gorelik, who's associated with the Baylor College of Medicine, the Texas Biomedical Research Institute, and Children's Hospital in San Antonio. And he has some really interesting research that he's going to present later today on Kawasaki's and anakinra. So thank you for being with us,
Thank you.
Dr. Gorelik. So tell us a little bit just about the importance of studying Kawasaki's and how you came about looking at the IL-1 receptor inhibitor.
Kawasaki disease is a disease of childhood. It's a disease where kids get fevers and a couple of other clinical signs and symptoms and then develop heart damage. And specifically the kind of heart damage they can develop is aneurysms in the heart, but also scarring in the heart. And it actually is the number one cause of acquired heart disease in children in the developed world. That used to be rheumatic heart disease, but now it's Kawasaki disease. So it is, just for that reason alone, it's important to study. And what we're really trying to do is make this disease more treatable. So currently the treatment is via something called IVIG, which is a kind of a infusion of antibodies. And this helps to treat about 3/4 of the patients who have heart damage, but another 1/4 of the patients who have heart damage still have persistent disease. And so there's a couple of investigators around the world who are looking at other modalities to treat this disease. And one of the modalities is IL-1, which is interleukin-1, which has been found to have an important role in inciting the initial inflammation in this disease. And so I work in collaboration with a gentleman named Moshe Arditi, who is at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles. And he is one of the pioneers in this area looking at the role of IL-1. And together with him, we were looking specifically, wanted to ask a question. Can we treat Kawasaki, the mechanical dysfunction of the heart that occurs in Kawasaki with this drug, anakinra, which is an IL-1 blocker? So what happens in Kawasaki disease is not only is there this inflammation and damages to the heart, but the heart also doesn't beat as well during the acute part of the disease. And in a small portion of patients, it's potentially possible that later on down the road they may have more damage and more fibrosis due to this. So we wanted to look at this, and to start off looking at this, we looked at it in a mouse model of the disease. And so we give the mouse what looks like a kind of a Kawasaki-like disease, and they develop very, very similar features. And one thing we wanted to do first is just look, do these features of Kawasaki disease, the not pumping so well, and another feature that occurs, the swelling of the heart, do these things also occur in the mouse? And they do. And then we wanted to see, what if we treat these mice now with anakinra? Can we stop those features from happening? And we can. And so that really helps to validate the use of this blocking therapy, this IL-1 blocking therapy for Kawasaki disease potentially in humans. And then something else that we saw was also we were able to kind of block a lot of the subsequent fibrosis or scarring that happens. So I think from here, there is already quite a bit of data from Dr. Arditi and some others on the role of IL-1 in Kawasaki disease, but we're helping, I think, to broaden the idea that this drug is useful, applicable, and maybe one of those kind of drugs that we can use to help treat that 1/4 of patients that is currently beyond treatment.
Well, that sounds like very promising therapy in the horizon, and we're looking forward to learn more about it.